Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Tyler, and this is my tabletop. Today we are going to be putting together a Panzer IV Ausf H variant produced by Warlord Games for their Bolt Action tabletop game. We've already put together one of these. We put together a Panzer IV Ausf G variant. The major difference is that this has the armored skirts, the Shursen, I think they're called. So we're going to be following along with the instructions that are provided. The only difference is anywhere where their instructions, if it has just a number, you're going to put it on regardless of which variant you're putting together. If it has a letter, we're going to ignore the F's and the G's, and we're only going to put on H's where there are letters. So I'm going to speed this up, and we're going to go through it. Alright, so we are in 4 times time acceleration, and this is a standard kit, so we clip them out with our side clips, and then just trim off what little bits of plastic there are that are left hanging with a knife. So this kit is basically 5 big steps, A, B, C, D, and E. If we were putting together the F or G variant, we wouldn't do step E, but since we're going to be doing an H, this will likely be the command vehicle for my little core of eventually 3 Panzer IVs. So step A, we're going to put together the 2 halves of the hull. And as you saw, I went ahead and put the back piece, which is piece 13, on. Now, you've seen me do both, where I've clipped everything out beforehand and not recorded it, and then you've seen me do it what I'm doing now, which is clip on camera. The major reason that I didn't do it with this is that there are quite a few pieces on the Panzer kit, and so I didn't want to get any pieces mixed up. You can see that I'm being fairly careful to keep track of the left versus the right tracks so that I don't mix them up. Even with that being said, I managed to try and put the top and bottom tracks, like part 8 and 7 or 5 and 6. I wind up trying to put them on upside down on one of them. So I do suggest kind of putting it together in the way I did, which is to put the 3 main pieces of the hull together and let them start drying, and then start working on the tracks. You want to give, even when you're using super glue, which dries very quickly, you want to give some time for assemblies of pieces to dry before you start manipulating them. Yeah, and you see here, this is where I wound up fiddling with it and putting it on upside down for a little bit. Eventually I figured it out. Now these tracks are 4 pieces a piece. It's top and bottom tracks, the main body of the track, and then there's the main body of the road wheels, the frame of the track, and then there's 2 extra pieces of the wheels, one going in the front, one going in the back. And now we're just doing the exact same thing with the other track. And now we're hunting down, they're kind of the detailed bits of the top hull. There's the exhaust that goes on the back. There's some equipment rack, some equipment bins, I guess. Yeah, those two that I'm putting on right now. And then there's like some, it looks like just details. Parts 16, 17, and 15. They're like the front details that didn't get cast uh, into the hull. So they're provided as separate pieces. And here you can see where I made a bit of an error. I didn't check to make sure that the track was flush, so you can see I was laying, when you're assembling these, you've got to make sure that it lays flat so that you don't, so that it's not wobbly, and that's what I had to fix. And so that's the two side pieces, and then you put on the front piece. Ta-da! There we go. Alright, so we are moving on to step B, which is all the Griblies. I do it in batches because there's a lot of them. Right now, we're putting on part 20. This is the first of the ones that are different depending on the different models, the different variants. Putting on part 20, and then we put on the antenna. 40 goes on the back. And you see me fiddling with the front a little bit while I'm putting on the spare tracks and the tow bars 49 and 50. There's a bit of a gap where I didn't press firmly enough when I put the hull together. Yeah, you can see I'm pinching it, trying to get it to close, and I just cannot get it during the process of assembly. So finally, yeah, you can see I'm trying to do things one-handed to give it more time, and it just does not work. So after the fact, I went back and actually, held it for a good long while it was drying. Because it was a pain. It was very, very much a pain. A little bit of a dry fit. The part I'm putting on right now is number 45, and it is not put onto the G variant, so I didn't know exactly where to put it. So do a dry fit, make sure I can figure out where the heck it's supposed to go. Now we're putting on the headlights, which are very small and fiddly. And then it's part 46. I don't know what it is. Every German tank has it. It is not a headlight. I just don't know what it is. I'm gonna have to look it up. And now we're going to throw a couple jerry cans on there. And that's step B done. So now we're going to work on the turret. We are going to do open hatch variant. I'm going to put the commander in his little cupola. And because we're doing the H variant, we actually have the simpler gun mechanism. Well, I guess the G variant's simple too. It's the F variant that's the problem. But anyway, at this point, most of the parts have been put on, so you can see I clip out quite a bit more. And so you can see on the instructions just barely that basically what we're going to do is we're going to build you build the whole tank and then you put on the armor. So you saw me pick up my knife there. That's because the hole that the commander's cupola goes into is it's a little odd shaped and it can be a little hard to put the thing in. So I just trim it just a little bit. I found that out with the G variant that I put together before. Okay, commander's in. And put in the coax machine gun. Okay, so we've finished the base vehicle. Now we're putting on the Shursen, which is where basically the entire frame that I'm holding at this point is. It's quite a few parts. 8 parts for the ones that go on the turret, and then another 10 for the ones that go on the body. And there's really not a super good way to do it in terms of dry fitting. It's very much you just gotta go with it. There are some grooves that the holders, I guess the armor holders, extenders, things go on, so you're not going completely in the dark, but it is a bit complicated. I will probably not be putting together another H variant, just because this is a lot of extra pieces that are a bit of a hassle. It looks good. End result looks good, but just... Okay, so we got the turret finished, and now we're going to work on the armor for the body. And on the on the second one that I'm going to put on, I'm actually going to do some damage to it. I'm going to remove one of the panels because I've seen a lot of photographs and a lot of modelers do this too. But apparently the way that the paneling is set up is that if you damage one panel, the crew could just remove it. And not lose the whole side of the armor. So I'm gonna take a panel off. Now to do this, we're going to be very, very careful. There are grooves. The panels are delineated, but it is kind of hairy. Make sure you're using them. If you're going to do this, make sure you're using a very sharp knife. Cut very shallow and do multiple cuts. Watch your fingers. I managed to do this without cutting myself, which is shocking to me, because I normally hurt myself when I go off script. And there we go. And I picked the middle panel basically because it doesn't have any attachment points, and so it was the easiest to cut. But you could pick any panel you wanted. And that's that. I'm gonna go put it on the turntable and show you what it looks like in a scale shot. So here is a scale shot with my Panzer IV Ausf G and an infantry. It looks so much bigger, even though it is the exact same hull. Overall, a really nice kit. Yes, it's some more extra pieces, but I do like it. Let's see what it looks like by itself. So there's that. Not really sure what the next video is going to be. I guess you're going to have to tune in to find out. Thank you so much for watching. If you like it, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm Tyler. This has been my Tabletop.